I'm so excited. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Unstoppable Leadership Spotlight podcast, where we hear from influential leaders and their game-changing insights. I'm Jaclyn Strominger, your host, and today I want to welcome our amazing guest, Carroll Patrizi. Holy crap. I just have to let y'all know, she and I met before. I was on her podcast. She's absolutely amazing. So she's a podcaster, she's a speaker, she is an amazing coach. She has awesome summits, so we'll be talking about those. But Carroll, can you just share a little bit about your background and how you got here?
First of all, of course, the answer is yes. But first of all, thank you, Jaclyn. And I'm sure your audience already knows your energy and your excitement and your passion for helping others and getting them into leadership, getting them to where they need to be, whether it's their company or individual. It's such an amazing service. And I appreciate you so much. I appreciate what you stand for. I love our conversations. Hey,
We
audience.
always talk for hours.
I know it's so much fun, and we will be brief, but however, I know we'll share valuable information for you all.
Yeah.
Carroll Patrizi. I'm on the backside of this beautiful earthly life, a lot more behind me, a lot of road behind me, and not as much ahead. And with that in mind, number one, I'm so grateful. I have many loved ones that don't have any earthly life ahead of them anymore. They are home above. And I just think to myself, we don't know when that's going to be. And when a lot of my peers and dear friends and loved ones decided to retire, I thought, oh my goodness, I want to do more. I love businesses. I love building businesses. I have on my hat, I think today
Yeah.
is a CAM construction. My husband and I are partners in a construction company, residential, commercial, ground up, you name it. He's done it for 45. I joined him about 25 years ago. And that's a business that I now just consult within. I didn't want to leave. I love it. And when I decided to move into consulting for them, I said, okay, you know what? This is time to share with others what I have learned along the way, mostly through old enough, mature enough that I've made, pick a mistake, any area, I'm sure I've made it. And instead of, and it was a choice to focus as not wins, to focus on these as places to move forward, because with that information and knowledge, which I believe that's what leadership is, continue to learn, take what you didn't do, do it better, help others. So part of leadership, I realized, oh my goodness, everything I ever wanted to do, the what ifs that if I would retire, I would live with. I decided to take it forward, started a production company. I'm starting a new company as we speak, podcasting, summits, meeting people globally, such as yourself. I'm sure your audience knows, but that's why Jaclyn and I became friends, not just business associates,
Right.
because we had a shared interest in growth and learning and leadership. And how do we become better leaders with the experience we have? And how do we share what we have learned with others? So I'm here right along with you all, a leader and a student. I think that's what we are forever. We are students.
Right.
And if doing that, oh my gosh, life is so much fun. And it's just so exciting what in the midst, yes. Oh my goodness, is there a lot going on? Is it confusion? Are there things that are not positive? 100%. Always was, always will be. What are we going to do about it? Dwell on that or create positive light and energy and growth and do something that, in spite of all these outside circumstances, we have an opportunity to grow and learn individually and begin a ripple effect. I don't know. I could go on and on. That's why I'm here.
That's there's so many different things that you just touched upon that I'm just like, oh my God, I like so many questions to ask you about. Okay. So one thing that you just shared, and I want to go back to the start of your story about where you were talking about where you joined your husband and you've got this company, and I know you have a team there and you have a team that you work with. So knowing it and all the other businesses that you've got going on. So first and foremost, how do you feel that you as a leader help the teams that you have grow? And how do you feel that your experience and you as a great leader impacts the people that you work with?
Okay, so first of all, thank you for the compliment. I think the word leader is thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
And I believe that a lot of people, and you and I talked briefly upon this pre-show, there's some misunderstanding about what that is.
Right.
Anybody can say their name and put the word leader behind it. I do so very carefully. I feel that a lot of what leadership means, it means that we're here to empower and appreciate others in they, in what their leadership role is. We can be leaders in so many different ways. For me, a leader is someone that realizes they too need to continue to learn. It's number one. I'll just throw out a golf example. I do love golf. I'm not great at it, but I love it. I'm pretty good. I can play. Tiger Woods has a coach. Pick an athlete, any athlete, top in their field.
Yep.
They have coaches. So I believe in being willing to learn. I think that as a leader, this is a skill that can be developed, but this was a God-given gift for me. And that is, I can see leadership and gifts that other people have that they don't recognize. I think as a leader, and I'll combine this with your other question about my teams. I'm part of a team. If I've accomplished a lot, number one, just because I'm older. and I, and I and I love to do things. But the other reason is because of the people I surround myself with. These teams of people, I had a call earlier, and it was a team it's one of 11 productions that does the summits and the podcast and et cetera, et cetera. And I have to tell you, these are young, precious women. I wonder sometimes if they realize that they are leaders. They're leaders because they too have their hopes and their dreams. They do this, they work with me and my team right alongside of what they're doing. They want to build teams. Think about if you're a I don't know why I'm having this sports moment, but I am.
That's okay. I do a
A,
lot of sports analogies too. It's so
a
funny.
quarterback, right? Yeah, sure. The quarterback passes, receives from the center, makes the play, does the handoff, sees the field, but he does so with trust in
Yeah.
his team. Everybody is on the same page. Everyone takes ownership and accountability. I think that if a leader, I'll be honest, I'm going to say that I years ago wanted to be called a leader. I don't think I understood when I was in my, I don't know, 20s and 30s, which was a long time ago, that
Years ago.
I think that I felt that I needed to do something and I needed to be something. And my accomplishments, anything great is done with more than just one person. And I love that.
Yeah. And what you just said is so important. And I would say myself too, like thinking back even to my early stages in careers and where you became a true manager for the first time and you've got it. And what you just said is so poignant, which is when we're young, we have not been taught, or a lot of us have not been taught. Some people have been, or if you have a really good mentor who can teach you, but we have, I know myself, I was not taught, even though I went to a great school, we talked about leadership and we talked about organizational behavior, something missed. And it was like we weren't taught what you just said, which is it's not about your accomplishments. Your accomplishments actually come by the rise of your team. And then you have to acknowledge those people and celebrate those people. But again, the rise comes when you lead people to be their best and you work together as a cohesive unit. One person is not as strong as a whole group together. There's a really great book. I actually just shared it the other day, and I'll give credit to John Gordon. He wrote it. It's called Stick Together. And speaking about sports, it's about a basketball team and a coach, and he actually needs to get this team to work together and respect each other. And he asks them, pretend this pen is the stick. He's like, how do you protect your stick? You want to protect your stick from breaking. And he put people together who would not normally also work together. If you and I were on the same team and we never sat next to each other, he would have put us together because we were not trust and teammates. We were on the same team, but we weren't together. So he did this, and then he had the whole team work together. And what they came out with was multiple pens or sticks all together. You can't break a collective group of sticks, but you can break an individual. So when you work together as a team, you rise up and you can't break.
Yes, stronger together.
Stronger together.
And so I'm going to take that a step further. And the thing about leadership is I think that if a play doesn't go correctly, leadership is taking accountability for the results of the entire team and being happy and grateful to do, because when the results are different, I can only speak for myself. I am so happy to say, oh my goodness, I must not have communicated something correctly. There must have been something in the collaboration, or I should have followed up differently. I think that leadership is accountability at the max. It's in leadership. It's okay. If we're trying to accomplish something there's a mission, it's okay to not hit it, but keep getting closer and I guess hit a mission, but for the mission to be complete.
Yeah.
It's all right that you're stumbling along the way and that different people within the team are learning, because what's happening is, and you ought to be excited about it, is you're becoming a better leader, allowing people to learn along the way, allowing them to take ownership in their part. Management is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not.
Leadership is huge listening. I have become a better listener. It has been very intentional. I'm not learning a darn thing if I get to have the privilege of you asking me questions, right? I learn by asking you questions and listening. One of my mentors, Randy, who I'll meet with tonight, and something we're doing right now is we're doing a 90-day challenge as leaders. We're holding ourselves accountable for the things that we ask for our team to do. Are we, any of us, and this is in any way, shape, or form, are we asking and or telling, which is really something, other people to do things that we are not willing to do ourselves? And or are they walking? Are we leaving footprints that we want them to follow? Or are we tell them, yeah, y'all just do this. Y'all go off to the right. I'm just going to be hanging over here in the
Right.
left,
Right.
watching you. Or are we in there with them at some level?
Yeah. And that's so true, Carol. I'm so glad that you brought that up as because that's one of the biggest things about leadership, I think, is are you walking the walk and talking the talk along with the people that are on your team? Are you, as you just said, are you in the trenches? Are you sitting back, having them do the work, or are you part of the team? And everybody has heard George Washington, right? He was in the trenches, right? But that kid, the biggest thing is we lead by example, right? And
Mhm.
leading by example is not sitting back in your chair saying, okay, you do this and you do this and you do that, right? Part of that is that you're in there doing the work too, and you're rolling up your sleeves and helping because you're part of the team. You might be orchestrating a lot of it as the leader, but you're there working too. And and
Shared vision.
shared, right. And that's the key thing that you also just said, which is I think it's really important. You said vision and mission. And I think that's something that is really, you and I have talked about this. Vision and mission is so important. So I'm curious, how do you share your mission for your businesses with your team?
Okay. And I believe, I wish one of my team members was here so I could validate this answer. And regardless of the company or the team that I'm speaking with, I love, and I believe it was, I feel bad because I want to give credit for who said this. I think it was Zig Ziglar, I think, said, if people understand why you want them to do something, they are more likely, number one, to do it, but number two, to care about doing it. We have team meetings. My consultant, now that I do consulting with the construction group, that's now different.
Yeah.
And I do go in and I really have them report to me what's going on and how's this working and what could be done differently and why is that? It's more of a question answer. And because I was there so long, it's a little different. But when I go in, and I had a call earlier with these three lovely young professional women, and it was very interesting. And I take that back. There were two of the three that are on this particular team. There are four of us. And it was very interesting. What we did was we reviewed live their work, what they had created. It was a lot of content. And we went in and we want to make sure that we are all, are we sharing as one or are we sharing as individuals the content that is being done? So I'll get in there with them, not every time, but once a month at least, we will have a team meeting. Everybody pulls up what they've been creating and working on, and we will all get in there, right in there together and say, is this the verbiage that we would use? Is this what we would want to hear as these particular clients? I'll tell you, teamwork makes the dream work. I don't know who said that, but it is the truth. And when we call ourselves a leader rather than a facilitator, I
Right.
also have this beautiful Bible study, and they I'm a co-leader with someone. Every time I go into that study, I'll say what I would really wish they called us were facilitators. Because when people share, I'm getting more from them probably than they are certainly getting from me. And I think that leadership means we always want to be better. and we want to lead by example, and it keeps us accountable. If I say I'm a leader in any capacity, I am putting my reputation on the line with everybody I work with.
Right.
Because if you got to walk the talk.
Right. You do. You have to walk the talk.
And so if you want to be accountable, if I'll tell you what, this challenge that I'm doing, and it's a leadership challenge, it's 90 days. And we are every single solitary evening. And there's a very good chance a lot of people that have leader behind their names do not do this. Every single solitary thing I've done that day that I am in very high hopes and have expectation of my team, not each of us that are in this are leaders of teams, supposedly.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You do that report every night and you turn it in every single solitary night. That which can be measured can be improved.
Right.
And I can tell you, number one is, am I being accountable? You better bet I am. Because I'm thinking to myself, but I'm going to give you a statistic. Randy, who's leading the group, he's a mentor and leader for all of us. Actually, not for everyone that's in there, but happens to be one of mine. And he reported, I think there are 36 of us in it. Eight have reported every evening as committed. So that's what I want to tell you about leadership.
That is so true.
Lead yourself first.
Right.
Let me tell you, I did not want to do my report the other night. I was so tired. Tired.
But congratulations that you did.
Thank you. I'm so happy. And you know what? We're early in. We're only in like day 9 or 10 or something. It's 90 days. Let's talk again.
I want to hear how it's going on day 60.
But isn't that interesting? These are people. I'm willing. I'm in. I'm a leader. I want to be better. I'm committed. And that's the number.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And it's funny, I actually shared today on LinkedIn, and I think even on one of the posts I did, all about, we've talked about this, I think probably before too. MMA your business. You have to measure, monitor, and adjust. And I actually shared today, like if anybody actually wants an activity tracker, to let me know. Anybody who's listening, our amazing audience, if you'd like an activity tracker, I've got one for you. Trust me, what Carroll just said, I think is so important. You need to measure your activities. And if you're sharing this with, if you've got a team and you're asking them to do that, you need to be doing it with them and share the results. Sharing results is so important because it's either going to motivate you or maybe it might demotivate you. But if it's going to demotivate you, then you have to think about what your desire is and your wants are. Is it something that you really want to do? Because if you're not doing the actions, what's blocking you from doing it?
And I love that because, and Randy again, and I get such a kick. He's my same age. So he too, same amount of runway or not. We don't know ahead of us. But all I can tell you is that he says he has, and I just complimented him on this. When he does not track, like with your tracking device, your form, MMA, I'm just going to tell you something. We have magnifying minds. At the end of a week, you think, oh gosh, yeah, did I do this? And did I make all those calls? Did I make sure that the team had that information? Did I go through? And you think you've done more than you have. We have magnifying minds. And that's great if we want to just feel good. But you know what else it does? If we monitor this, if we are really just for 90-day periods, that's all you got to do. And then you're like, oh, okay, I
Right.
understand. But the bottom line is maybe we don't want to do what it is we've said we're so excited about. Maybe we don't. That's information we need. The other thing is Maybe we do, and we're like, oh, that's where the lag is. That's why my results are not what I want them to be. So it's this great information. You get to view it however you want. It's valuable no matter what. And here's the thing, if you're discouraged, don't be discouraged. Be so proud that you stepped up to measure it. And now you can take a different path or take a few more steps or just say, oh, no wonder it hadn't happened so fast. I need to be a little more patient. Do yourself a favor, get Jaclyn's MMA form because I'm telling you, congratulations, number one, for even listening to this. And number two is take action, see where you really are. Be kind to yourself. You can only start from where you are. You cannot start from where you're not. So if you're trying to get someplace, you need to figure out where you are right now.
Yeah, that's so awesome. All right, so Carol, big question for you. Where do you feel for you as being the amazing leader that you are? What is your area of that you're working on for growth?
Right this minute,
My,
I am actually 90-day push. And when I say push, it's not a push. It's a 90-day monitor. I'm doing what I do and what I am working with my team to show them how to grow. And are we listening? What is realistic? What do you really want? I have put into place, and I believe today is day 10. And I'm going to tell you something. Mine is to monitor and to measure my own daily activities, but it's on all levels. There are pillars that we have to be careful of. And please, audience, oh, how I hope that you're still listening to this. I am not just talking about, let's say you're in sales. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about spiritual, nutritional, physical, relationship, and profession. If all we're doing, and I'm guilty of this, saying, I want to do something, I do that one thing. If it's work, I am going to, my goodness gracious. But then, excuse me, other parts of who we are as a whole person, and certainly who I was as a whole person, they were getting ignored. As a leader, you got to monitor all of it. Were you grateful that morning? How did you start your day? How did you start your day? How did you nourish your body throughout the day? And that the nourishment of the body, I have to say for myself, that has been probably the most eye-opening in this beginning part. I will go and go and go and then grab something to eat. And maybe it could have been a little healthier. So this has been fun because I've realized that I have a treadmill under my desk. So I like to walk, I like to be active. So if I haven't gone and taken a walk around the block or gone to the university and walked under the beautiful trees that are very near me, I'll listen to a book and
yep,
make sure I get in a few thousand steps. I know this all sounds, who wants to do all of that?
it's so important.
I do.
Right.
Y'all, this isn't about other people.
It's about you and your
It's,
leadership.
yes. How do you want to feel about yourself? I get in bed at night. I'm so excited because I was grateful during the day and I did a little bit of walking. There's a yoga mat just to the side of me in my studio. I probably got down on the ground and did a little bit of stretching and some nice breaths. Do what you want to do that you feel good. Your kiddos, your friends, their kiddos, if you don't have kiddos, your partner, I don't know, your friend, your sister, your brother, your cousin, you have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to be an example of other people Lead yourself
Yeah.
first, and then you are in leadership, because if you're leading yourself, you're learning and you're growing and you want to do better, and then you're going to lead others.
That's so beautiful. Oh my God. So Carol, I just love this. I love that. Lead yourself first. It is so important. Okay, so share with us because your wisdom and your expertise is just so important. How can people find you? And what's up? I know we talked a little bit about some summits, so what else is coming up in your world that we can share?
Thank you for asking. If you want to follow along in the many different worlds and little that I love to live in, go to carrollpatrizi.com. That's simple. Carroll, it's two R's and two L's. Of course, different. I think we're all very different. carrollpatrizi.com, and get in there, just search around. You'll see a lot of different businesses. We'll have a summit coming up late November, early December, and I'll be sure and let you know. If you want to be on the podcast, have a series, have something you want to share, I, with all my heart, believe that your story matters no matter who you are. You matter. You have gifts that need to be shared with the world. So come on over, follow along. You'll get to see Jaclyn over there. And that's how. Thank you for having me. It's been a ball.
Oh my God, thank you so much for being a guest. And everybody, seriously, go to her page. Thank you all for listening. And I'm Jaclyn Strominger, your high performance coach, helping you be unstoppable and be an unstoppable leader. So thank you guys so much for listening.
Thanks, Jaclyn. Thanks, audience.